This is Claude S. of Anything Box. And you're listening to the New Wave Music Podcast, right here, right now.
You're tuned into the New Wave Music Podcast, your go-to destination for exclusive interviews, album reviews, and the latest music news. And now, here's your host, Steve.
All right, well, welcome back to another episode of the New Wave Music Podcast. We have another album review episode, and yet I have another special guest joining me here in the New Wave Studios. Riff, thanks for joining us.
No problem, Steve. Hi, everyone. My name is Riff Royal. You can find me on Instagram at Riff Royal, and I am a radio host on 4 online radio stations. That's KLMU, Stranger Radio, Radio Brennpunkt, and of course, more recently, Warrior X Radio, where I host new wave, pop, classical music, and also ska.
Well, Riff, I'm really glad that you're able to join me here. I'm curious to get your thoughts on these 2 albums. Let's kick things off. The first album we're going to jump into is the latest solo album from Erasure frontman Andy Bell. Now, if you need a refresher on who Andy Bell was, he is the lead singer of Erasure, and you're going to recognize them from such hits as Chains of Love, A Little Respect, and Oh L'Amour. He just released his 3rd solo album called 10 Crowns, and that was released back in May of 2025. Well, Riff, I'm excited to get your thoughts on this album. Let's dive into it. The first track is Breaking Through the Interstellar. The album opens with a sense of lift and anticipation. This track immediately feels like Andy Bell is throwing the doors wide open. The production is bright and expansive, with shimmering synths that almost feel weightless, creating a sense of motion and optimism right from the start. There's a real feeling of escape here, not running away from something, but moving towards something better. Lyrically, this song leans into an imagery of space and transformation, which works as both a metaphor and for personal growth, and also may be a mission statement for the album. It's about pushing past limits, shaking off doubt, and stepping into a new chapter with confidence. As an opener, it does exactly what it should do. It invites the listener in, and it sets the emotional and sonic direction for everything that follows.
The album is Andy Bell's 3rd studio album, and I proudly say it's 3rd time's the charm. As a whole, it's his most Erasure-spirited record adapted into a modern flair, but he finally found his footing, his passion. In his voice, you can tell how much Andy enjoys singing his heart out. A lot of effort was put in, and I believe fans are seeing it right now, Steve. The song has a dreamy, emotional transcendence, almost mesmerizing to say the least. You can hear in Andy's expressive voice strongly in the entire song. Talks of fifth dimension, galactic journey, interstellar. I'm surprised the sci-fi media franchises haven't sampled the song yet. The song is so positive. Lyrically, it's simple, but some of the strongest ever read. As a poem, it would earn Andy the highest role in poetry, serving as a United States Poet Laureate.
All right, let's move on to track number 2, Lies So Deep. This track pulls things into a more emotional territory. This song explores the kind of heartbreak that doesn't explode all at once. It lingers, settles in, and quietly reshapes how you see yourself and others. Andy's vocals are restrained but yet vulnerable, which makes the emotion feel genuine rather than theatrical. This also features Sarah Puenza, who I'm really not familiar with, but her contribution elevates the song significantly. The duet structure makes the song feel like an internal dialogue. Two sides of the same emotional struggling. It's one of the album's most effective moments, with a clear remember that 10 Crowns isn't just about dance floor energy, but emotional honesty as well.
Totally agree with you, Steve. It lingers with the listeners. It's a mystery. I enjoy the thunderstorm sound in the first 5 seconds. Symbolizing a transition from breaking through the interstellar to the song Lie So Deep, the second track on the album. It adds a layer of story and sound to paint a picture. Several artists insert direct sounds within their music videos, but never add the sound in the final produced song. It picked up recently as a trend with pop artists like Olivia Rodrigo, Taylor Swift, or even the pop rock bands like Fall Out Boy, weaving human conversations spoken by others into their songs for meta storytelling. Overall, it's the most earworm addictive song on the album for me. I wouldn't refer Lie So Deep to full-on techno, but strong synth mixed in with strong house influences. Very soulful. If Andy released Lie So Deep in the early 90s, I have a strong feeling it would help him transition to the 90s decade, garnering new fans and solidifying himself for another decade or two on the top pop charts.
Well, Riff, I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on track number 3, Heart's a Liar. This one does also feature a new wave icon, Debbie Harry. This is one of the album's most striking collaborations. This song has a darker, more dramatic tone built on moody synth lines and almost a steady yet atmospheric rhythm. There's a sense of tension running throughout the song. Debbie Harry's presence adds a layer of cool detachment that contrasts beautifully with Andy's warmth and vulnerability. Their vocals play off each other in a way that feels conversational and lived in. Lyrically, it captures the painful awareness of being in a relationship built on an illusion. Knowing something isn't real, but wanting it anyway. It's elegant, restrained, and kind of devastating, making it one of the album's standout tracks for me.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree with your perspective, Steve. This is a strong song within itself, a polished, emotional synth pop production. I'd say it wouldn't be out of place comparing it to a slow dance floor song like Spandau Ballet's True, but for a modern ballet, it screams late-era ballad leading tracks of Erasure. And it focuses a lot on breakup songs, a romantic song. I picture it playing at the end of a rom-com.
Well, let's move on to track number 4 for today.
Really doesn't matter, dreams are gonna shatter.
This song shifts the mood back towards light and movement. There's a kind of a classic disco influence running throughout this track, but it never feels fully retro for nostalgia's sake. The track's message is simple but effective. Stop worrying about what's already happened or what might happen next, and focus on what's right in front of you. Andy delivers this idea with a sense of sincerity that makes it feel earned rather than preachy. It's one of those tracks that quietly lifts your mood, reminding you why pop music can be such a powerful source of comfort and escape.
I totally relate with your statement, Steve. It's not peachy at all. For today's starts off with a robotic voice. It really doesn't matter, really doesn't matter. A repetitive voice, I'm already sold on it. Nothing more needs to be said, but in all honesty, it's bright, uplifting. This song is for someone who is ready to seize their moment, start their day off right. Lyrically, I enjoy the story rhyming. I maximize security. They said they have a cure for me. Quote, Andy cooked this song. He allowed it to marinate, and it's paying off.
That brings us to track number 5, Dance for Mercy.
Yeah. Dance for mercy. Yeah. Dance for mercy. Yeah. Dance for mercy. Mercy, 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 mercy. You gotta go back. You ain't ready. You gotta go back. You're too wicked for this world. You gotta go back. You ain't ready. You gotta go back. You're too wicked for this world. You gotta go back.
This song feels like the emotional core of 10 Crowns. From its first beat, it's clear this is designed to move bodies. The song draws on themes of survival, gratitude, and facing morality. Ideas that could easily feel heavy, but here they're transformed into something joyful and affirming. The production is driving and euphoric, and almost demanding movement, while the lyrics suggest dancing as an act of defiance and celebration. There's a sense that joy itself has become a form of resistance. This track does not just ask you to dance, it gives you reason to.
Yes, reason to. And Dance for Mercy, woo! Let me just say, next time I walk in my favorite club, I'm requesting Dance for Mercy. Andy balances the darkly euphoric with a club-centric song. Andy talks about the present, the now, telling listeners to go back and correct the mistakes and make sure it's never repeated again. The act of dancing becomes symbolic, not celebration, but survival, to say, suggesting confession and redemption through a listener's own individual story and perspective.
And that's going to bring us to track number 6, Don't You Know?
Destination calling. Will you catch me when I'm falling? 'Cause I'm messing up down here. Now I'm a hopeless dreamer, a lazy good for nothing schemer. And it's all so ordinary. Don't you know?
The song is smoother and more restrained, allowing Andy's vocals to take center stage. There's some confidence here, both musically and lyrically, that makes this song feel intimate and reassuring. And this was actually the first single released on this album nearly a year ago. Lyrically, it's about self-awareness and acceptance, recognizing your own worth, understanding the lessons that life keeps repeating until you finally listen.
Yes, and speaking about Don't You Know, it has a mid-tempo electronic beat. Musically, I recall it as more leaning towards the 80s and 90s of synthetic pop. I can see why Andy Bell chose Don't You Know as releasing as a single. Musically, it's one of the standout core songs of the album in its entirety. He delivers an open and conversational tone, giving the track a confessional feel, as if the listener is talked to directly, as if Andy Bell is speaking not to the masses, but only just to the one listener tuning in on their Spotify or popping in their CD or cassette in their player.
Well, with that, let's move on to track number 7, Dawn of Heaven's Gate.
Just one glimmer of hope, like the shards up in heaven, that would designate the future and reside in symmetry of such magnificence.
This track introduces a more cinematic and atmospheric tone. The layered synths and spacious production give this track a sense of scale, almost like standing at the edge of something vast and unknown. To me, this track feels like it's inviting the listeners to pause and reflect. The lyrics lean into ideas of hope, renewal, and transformation. There's actually also I found to be a kind of a spiritual quality here. This track works as an emotional reset within the album.
Let's take a moment. I love the word you use, Steve, transformation. Specifically, that word represents dawns of heavens for me. I feel like at this point, we're about halfway through the entire album. It's the turning point towards a new style within the record itself, reminding me a lot of Nightmare Before Christmas, Halloween style song, perfect for the spooky season. And the second audio, the staticky radio voice, is helpful in conveying a sense of urgency or dropping the song into realism, everyday life, essentially. It's reflective to the past synth pop songs of the 80s, spiritually resonating with a club focused song. I could see it being played by DJs all across the nation, maybe even the world, in dance clubs. And it just promotes calm and elevation, peacefulness, thoughtfulness, as if you made it in your own individual life.
Well, let's see what our thoughts are on track number 8, Godspell.
Get thee behind me, false prophets. Whoa. Go away, please. Go away, please. Godspell, Godspeed. God is good, God is love. Love is the running towards. Godspell, Godspeed. God is good, God is love. Love is the running towards.
This is one of the album's most boldest tracks. It uses religious imagery to challenge judgment, hypocrisy, and exclusion. And musically, it kind of blends a bit of dramatic, gospel-inspired moments with electronic pop, creating a theatrical tension that mirrors the song's message. Andy delivers the lyrics with conviction, but never slips into lecturing. Instead, this song feels more like a personal statement, a demand for empathy, fairness, and understanding. It's confrontational in the best way, asking listeners to examine their own beliefs and behavior. Godspell stands out as a reminder that pop music can still provoke thoughts while remaining emotionally engaging.
Yes, of course. It promotes thoughts as if Annie Bell himself is giving a speech at Washington, D.C., United States Capitol. It's a gentle electronic farewell to his previous songs within the album. It provides him to be emotionally exposed within himself, minimizing the synthetic pop compared to the prior songs on the album, and provides a moment of calm and grace within the album entirely, sort of like a reflective point before heading into our last two songs. So put your empathy on ice.
It isn't me who's screaming, there's no fee for dreaming. Mother tells me, oh, chastise me, no opinion's worth the price. Just put your money where your mouth is, no time for white lies. Just put your empathy on ice.
I don't know why the beat reminds me entirely of a newer 80s pop song, such as maybe Men Without Hats, Glorious Days. Might just be me, but overall the song is chilled, sophisticated, with a touch of synthetic pop, emotionally guarded rather than vulnerable. Andy Bell is confident, and lyrically, it's about going into your own self-worth. And it's more celebratorial than sentimental, appeals more to the masses than to one listener's livelihood.
Well, Riff, I found this song to be catchy and upbeat, but there's an unmistakable edge to the lyrics. It reflects on how easy it is to become emotionally disconnected, and especially in the age dominated by online outrages and constant noise. The contrast between the bright, infectious melody and the cynical undertones of the lyrics give this song some bite. It's playful on the surface, but there's some real commentary underneath. And that's going to bring us to the closing track. Thank you.
I want to thank all the people and friends that came along for the ride. And I can see the light coming, feel the light coming, see the light coming, from the bottom of my heart, until death do we part.
The album Closure is a stripped back and deeply personal track that feels like a moment of reflection after the journey has ended. The production is minimal, allowing Andy's voice and the sincerity of the lyrics to carry the emotional weight. This song is rooted in gratitude for love, for life, and for the people who shape us along the way. It's tender without being sentimental, and it provides a sense of closure that feels earned. Ending 10 Crowns this way reinforces the album's humanity, reminding listeners that beneath the beats and the synth, it's a personal story.
Yes, thank you. A nice little message of gratitude capping off the end of the album. Quote, it took me many times to wonder what the hell was going on. I feel like it's the perfect capping stone to the listeners, to the fans, thanking them for joining him on this musical journey for all these years. And just really leaves the door open to what Andy Bell has in store in the future for us.
Well, Riff, I've got to admit, I wasn't the biggest solo fan of Andy Bell before this album. It's one that really grew on me, and it's an album that you really have to listen to in its entirety from start to finish. It's designed, I think, to listen to in a sitting or throughout the. It's not one you can, like, especially the last track. You can't put that on as just like a single or just through a random play mix. It's not going to. The message of that track's not going to sink in as much as it did. And I will have to say, though, 10 Crowns is an album that Andy Bell proves that dance pop can be emotionally rich, thoughtful, and relevant. Each track contributes to a larger narrative about survival, self-discovery, and gratitude, making the album feel cohesive and intentional rather than just a collection of songs.
Yeah, Andy Bell, I haven't really listened to any of his prior albums besides Erasure. However, this album itself just stands out as maybe some of his best solo work, and I can't wait to see more in the future, especially since I believe Erasure is going back on tour. They hinted at it, either making a new album or perhaps forming the duo group again. We'll see, but whatever it is, they have a bright future ahead of themselves.
You're listening to the New Wave Music Podcast. Now, let's take a look at what's new in the world of music news.
They Might Be Giants are back with a brand new EP called Eyeball. It features the title track, Eyeball.
Don't you notice anything? You haven't said a single word about my eyeball. Are you even looking? I thought for sure you'd mention it. Look me in the eyeball. Are you even looking? Look me in the eyeball. Look me in the eyeball.
And a song that I found to be a standout on the EP called The Glamour of Rock.
The glamour of rock, it's all around you, doing your laundry on a show day. The glamour of rock, it will astound you, groove on the patterns, spinning around.
It's pure They Might Be Giants, clever, strange, and funny in a way that only they can pull off. Peter Gabriel has announced he'll be releasing a new album later this year, and just like his last album, he'll be rolling out new singles with each full moon. The first single is already out, and it's called Been Undone.
By the mitochondrial cell, by the ringing of the funeral bell, I've been undone. And I need more information. I need to know what's going on. And I need this information now, so I don't go wrong. I don't go wrong.
Ian McNabb has revealed details of his upcoming album 65. due out later this year. The first track he shared is a cover of R.E.M's South Central Rain.
Did you never call? Waited for your call. These rivers of suggestion are driving me away. The ocean sang, conversations dim. Go build yourself another dream. This choice is mine. I'm sorry.
This one also features R.E.M's Peter Buck, this collaboration that feels both unexpected and completely right. In news that I honestly didn't think we were going to be getting, Morrissey has announced a new album. He signed with Sire Records and has released the first single, Makeup Is a Lie.
I read the words in granite.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Makeup is a lie. Oh, makeup is a lie. Makeup is a lie. Makeup is a lie. Oh, makeup is a lie.
The album shares the same title and is set for release on March 6. And Julian Shaw Taylor has shared that he's currently working on an upcoming 50th anniversary cover album of David Bowie's Station to Station. He's released his take on the classic track Golden Years.
Run for the shadows in these golden years. I'll stick with you, baby, for 1,000 years. Nothing's gonna touch you in these golden years.
And finally, David Byrne has released a cover of Olivia Rodrigo's debut hit, Driver's License.
And I know we weren't perfect, but I never felt this way for no one. And I just can't imagine how you could be okay now that I'm gone. Guess you didn't mean what you wrote in that song about me. 'Cause you said forever, now I drive alone past your street.
And it's every bit as intriguing as you'd expect. One well worth to seek out and check out on your streaming platform of choice.
That's a wrap on music news. Now let's get back into our next album review.
The next album we're going to be diving into, Riff, is one I'm not sure if you're too familiar, but it's the latest from Claudia Brücken. She was, of course, behind the band Propaganda, who had such hits as Duel. She also joined another band, ACT, and they had a great song called Absolutely Immune. Most recently, Claudia Brücken and Suzanne Freeberg from Propaganda formed the band Ex-Propaganda. And you may remember their song, Don't You Mess With Me. Night Mirror is the fourth studio album from Claudia. It was written and recorded between 2023 and 2025 and released at the end of October 2025. Riff, I'm not sure if you're too familiar with her. I'm really excited to see your thoughts. Spoiler alert, if you heard the top 10 of 2025, you know this album was high on my list. Well, let's get things started with the first track, My Life Started Today.
My life started today. What happened before
This song works as both an opener and a statement of intent. From the first moments, the tone is calm and assured. Lyrically, the idea is simple but powerful, letting go of what came before and choosing to start again. The arrangement is beautifully restrained. There's some piano and light electronic sit underneath the vocals, giving the words room to land. It feels like a quiet moment before something meaningful begins, and it sets the emotional direction for the entire album.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Steve. It's simple but yet powerful in its own right. A reflective opener built on a delicate piano and atmospheric synths. Claudia's own individual, unique voice from Propaganda you can hear delivers a mantra-like refrain, which I can picture herself as opening up for a Broadway musical. It's really a nice song, introspective nighttime mood, singing about new beginnings and self-reflection as the music later on in the song evolves from stillness to a subtle motion.
That's going to take us to track number 2, Rosebud.
Long ago, when we were young, we skimmed our stones where the river flowed. We would meet up there in our secret club. We called it Rosebud.
This song brings a little bit more movement into the picture. The bass line has a smooth, steady pulse. The song feels more melodic, making it one of the album's most approachable tracks. There's some cinematic quality here, not in a big dramatic way, but how the song unfolds. Claudia sounds comfortable and confident, reflecting on memory and meaning without sounding weighted down by it. It's nostalgic, but not sentimental, more like remembering something clearly without regret.
You definitely said it right, Steve. Claudia has a powerful vocal, cool vocal delivery with a rich layered of instrumental track. I don't know why, but Rosebud for everyone, it reminds us of innocence, just childhood. And in this single itself, it blends classic pop. If you grew up on the 80s, the 90s, it's perfect feel just to go back and remember a simpler time of gentle electronic rhythms and specific style strings with its warm organ and piano layers, giving it the nostalgic Americana edge we all desperately need.
Let's move into track number 3, All That We Ever Have.
Are nobody else, but you're everyone, just like myself. We all need some help, and then we find we might get along.
This is where the album really settles into its nighttime feel. Musically, it's gentle and flowing. The piano lines and the little bit of electric textures throughout again feel almost weightless. Claudia's vocal delivery is intimate, like she's letting you in on a private thought. This is one of those tracks that quietly deepens the album the more you listen to it.
Spot on, Steve. So many songs released out there, reminiscing on the past or looking forward to the future, but there's never really any specific songs about the present, seizing really your moment to an extent. But All That We Ever Have, Claudia is spot on with it. It's a piece mixing electronic textures with almost like organic elements of the core human emotions. With the piano keys, the song reflects on longing, just pairing reflective time within one's life with a warm soundscape that drifts between synthetic pop to a more Broadway style musical palette.
And that's going to take us to one of my personal favorite tracks on the album, track number 4, Sound and the Fury.
Between the power and the glory, the soul and the fury, we're in a perfect world.
This track changes the energy without breaking the mood. It's shorter, tighter, and more electronic. With sharper synth lines, it feels like a flash of tension, a reminder that reflection isn't always calm. Sometimes it's restless. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. This song doesn't linger, but it plays an important role by adding contrast and keeping the album from drifting too far into one emotional space.
Yeah, Sound and Fear. I respect your decision. It's a wonderful song, a nice transition from the prior three songs. It's as if you just you're attending a jazz club. You walked into the washroom, and after you exit, it all changes into a club techno scene, essentially. It's a more electronic orientation. The track incorporates lines and a driving rhythm. That's the heart of its core. It's sharp, energetic, an instant classic, I would say, if it was brought to the mainstream music audience. And it's one of the core essentials, I'd say, of the albums. If I had to choose one to take out, it definitely wouldn't be Sound and the Fury.
Let's see what our thoughts are on track number 5, The Only Ones.
We don't need a borrowed or blue, just a room of our own, one with a view. Aren't we the lucky one? Who knew we might be at the back, all the way back of the track? Didn't think I had the knack, now understand. It's all random.
But this song brings warmth back into the mix. The acoustic guitar blends smoothly with the synths, giving the song an organic feel. Lyrically, it's about uncertainty, how gaining experience doesn't always bring clarity. Claudia delivers this idea with a sense of acceptance rather than frustration. It feels thoughtful and human.
Well, I enjoy the sun transition from the cool, majestic songs of the first three out on the album to Sound and the Fury. I feel like the only ones, at least the placement, it might fit well as track number 4, just gradually building up to Sound and the Fury. But overall, it has a lighter, more delicate number with, as you mentioned, Steve, acoustic elements, little touches of subtle drum machine patterns. It's a nice, wistful feel, complementing connection and a euphoric, melic approach that I'd say Claudia did a good job, well done on.
That's going to take us to track number 6, Funny the Things.
With every step, memories of somewhere to stay dream. When I think of all the twists and turns, all the bruises and the cuts and burns, good and bad choices, high and low voices, the licks of love, the happy returns, the definite maybes, they still amaze me.
Riff, this is one of the album's most surprising tracks. The inclusion of what I could swear is the banjo and the flute immediately sets it apart, giving a slightly playful tone. But beneath the lighter sounds is reflection, the way small, unexpected thoughts or memories can suddenly weigh you down. It feels spontaneous and personal. It's different, but it fits because it still feels honest.
I couldn't agree with you more, Steve. Originally, I was like listening to the song over. I was like, 6 track, Funny the Things. Is that the banjo in there? I didn't know if I should write in the script if we should talk about it, but I'm glad you mentioned it. Yeah, the banjo is an interesting take, mixed with acoustic guitar alongside the synth style textures. Its lyrical content is, I'd say, on the stronger side. It's a playful meditation on memory and surprising ways of just recognizing life's little moments. As Ferris Bueller's would state, essentially, life's too short. Sometimes you have to take a break. The quote was somewhere
Life
around the
moves
line.
very fast. If you don't stop and look around, you're going to miss it.
Yes, thank you, Steve. I don't know why I stuttered on that, but anyways, yeah, I feel like it's the weaker song of the album. Might have been best to take it off or save it as its own individual single. But other than that, yeah, I'd say it's a nice song representing a vast array of mixing different genres together.
And that's going to take us to track number 7, Sincerely.
Well, it depends on who you are and who I'm talking to, or where I am, what kind of place I'm walking through. All I know right now is that I'm missing you. I'm missing you so long. Sincerely, waiting so long.
This song feels like a breath of fresh air. The rhythm is relaxed, the guitar work is gentle, and there's openness to the song that lives up to its title. This song is probably one of the more brighter tracks that we've heard on the album. It doesn't break the mood. Instead, it adds a balance, reminding us that reflection can also bring in clarity and calm, not just moodiness.
Yes, sincerely, it's a breezy, slightly mellow track with kind of a weaving of acoustic flavors to it. I felt like it was a good transition back from track 6, Funny the Things, and starting it off right with Sincerely, back to the prior 5 songs on the album itself. It almost sounds a lot like a West Coast jazz or folk while still retaining the music genre, the hidden rock, indie that makes Claudia who she is.
And with that, we're going to jump into track number 8, Shadow Dancer.
My shadow spinning far away, looking all around, further than you know. I dream in black and white, no color for tonight. My shadow dancer, my shadow spinning far away, looking all around in my sleepy satellite. My shadow dancer.
This was the album's lead single, and there's a reason why. The beat is steady and hypnotic, and the synth work shimmers in a way that feels both modern and classic. It's a dance track, but in a very nightmare way. Not for a crowded dance floor, but maybe just kind of chilling in the corner. The lyrics play with imagery of light and shadow, perfectly tying into the album's title and overall themes. This is probably going to be the song that's going to resonate with most of the listeners.
I totally agree. I think the listeners have stated a lot from some of the people I've talked to. Shadow Dancer is a standout track within the record. It interplays a synthetic pop and Claudia's cool vocal poise, and the grooves get stronger and stronger by the minute. And the sonic textures within itself, to me, evokes a type of, as it's called, a shadow dancer. These shadows and movement perfectly fitting the album's nocturnal, dark, nighttime feel.
Well, Riff, to me, track number 9 is going to be kind of the album closer. The song is called To Be Loved.
Everything that we needed. Everything that we
This is the emotional centerpiece of the record. At over 7 minutes, this song takes its time, and patience is the key to its impact on this track. The arrangement stays minimal, allowing Claudia's vocals to carry the emotion. This song explores vulnerability and longing in a very honest way without melodrama. It feels deeply personal, and by the end, it leaves a lasting impression. This is the track that really benefits from uninterrupted listening, and as we like to sometimes say, with a good pair of headphones.
To Be Love is a deeper, slower burning ballad that, as you stated, Steve, it takes a little bit of time to marinate within your own ears. Although there's hidden lyrics that are beautifully sounded, that lasts for several minutes. I don't mind the timestamp. However, some listeners who are used to the 2 minute, the 1 minute and 30-second songs might have a hard time staying in place for the entire song. But the piano and strings combined with the contemplative lyrics about love, desire, and vulnerability. The extended instrumental sections let the music breathe, creating intimate and expansive late night atmospheres, which is worthy of being the final capper in the album.
Well, the album's not quite over yet. We do get track number 10, though, is Dancing Shadow, or Shadow Dancer Part 2.
You see both night and day looking down from where I am, fellow traveler. And it's close to getting wrong, it's touch and go, close to disaster. Well, it's always twilight.
The album closes by revisiting the mood of Shadow Dancer, but this one's in a more looser, more atmospheric form. This version of the track focuses more on texture and rhythm rather than the lyrics. And this track really, to me, kind of just felt like as a bonus or an afterthought that maybe that they needed to round out the album. Let's revisit Shadow Dancer or Dancing Shadow.
Yes, a little calmer, and it's also kind of a weird placement to leave it at. If it's Shadow Dancer Part 2, when you assume it would be track 9 on the album, Claudia should have considered taking a play out of the playbook from Queen, formatting We Will Rock You with We Are the Champions together on the same album. But hey, it's a nice artistic decision that makes her stand out. Good for her. Closing the album, the track revisits some the prior earlier songs, but pushing them into a more dance influenced, euphoric like state with sequencer pulses and a sense of motion. It kind of is a bit of an off-putting send-off to say the least, but it's a nice final look into the album's shadowy reflective world. And Claudia herself should be proud of her decision.
Well, Riff, like I said at the beginning of the review, this album really connected with me. In fact, it ended in my top 5 of the year. Throughout the review, used the expression late night atmosphere. That's exactly what this album is. It's a late night atmosphere. It's good for those late nights, just if you need something to wind down, to chill to. This album doesn't rush, and it doesn't explain itself too much. Instead, it really does a great job of creating a mood and lets you sit inside of that. For longtime fans of Claudia Brücken, this feels like a confident and natural continuation of her solo work. And this album is really for anyone who appreciates those thoughtful late night listening sessions.
It's very well written. It's worth listening to the entire album, its entirety, and I kind of agree why you placed it in 5th place, Steve. Overall, it has a unique, interesting sound. Claudia is in her own right, seems like singing her heart out. Has a little bit of lingering aspects from Propaganda, but overall, it's a good album, and too would rank it high on my list.
Well, Riff, it's been an honor to have you jump in on these album reviews. I kind of threw you into some lesser known artists than you're familiar with. I have to have you back with maybe some more established new wave bands to get your thoughts on those.
Anytime, my pleasure. Would love to do it again.
Well, once again, I want to thank Riff for stopping by the New Wave Studios and helping us out with a couple of album reviews. Looking ahead to the next album review episode, I'm going to be once again joined by Dawn, and we're going to be reviewing a couple lost albums, one from Susanna Hoffs and one from the late Christy McCall. It's going to be an episode you definitely want to check out. If this is your first time listening, we thank you and ask that you please subscribe. That's a great way to support us. And if you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to leave us a 5-star review. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Just search for New Wave Music Podcast. We'll catch you on the next episode.